The SUV market is about to be completely reset, and 2027 is when it happens. Stop shopping for a new SUV right now, because what's coming in 2027 could make today's hottest models look outdated overnight. Automakers are preparing some of the most advanced, powerful, and futuristic SUVs we've ever seen, packed with cutting-edge technology, stunning designs, longer driving ranges, and features that sound almost too good to be true. In today's video, we're counting down 7 mind-blowing SUVs arriving in 2027 that are generating massive excitement. Trust me, once you see what's coming, you may decide it's worth waiting just a little longer before buying your next SUV. SUV number 7, Rolls-Royce Cullinan Electric, Series 2, the most ambitious SUV project in automotive history, and the specification has no equivalent anywhere. We are starting at the absolute pinnacle. The 2027 Rolls-Royce Cullinan Electric Series 2, built on a completely new, dedicated electric architecture that Rolls-Royce has been developing independently from BMW Group's standard EV platforms since 2021, represents the most technically ambitious SUV project any manufacturer has announced for production. Automotive engineers, industry analysts, and luxury journalists are in rare unanimous agreement on that assessment. The powertrain specification confirmed through Rolls-Royce official communications and regulatory filings positions the Cullinan Electric with dual motors producing in excess of 700 horsepower and maximum torque exceeding 900 pound-feet. These figures alone are not remarkable in the modern EV context. What is remarkable is the delivery system designed to make those figures compatible with the Rolls-Royce experience, effortless, silent, and imperceptible in their operation. Rolls-Royce has developed what the company calls Magic Carpet Ride Electric, an active suspension system with response speed measured in milliseconds that uses road surface mapping combined with real-time sensor data to pre-position suspension components before wheels encounter surface irregularities. The system is predictive rather than reactive, a fundamental engineering distinction from everything Mercedes-Benz's Magic Body Control and Range Rover's electronic air suspension achieve through reactive algorithms. No production vehicle has offered this predictive architecture before. The battery system is the most significant technical claim on this entire list. Rolls-Royce has partnered with a solid-state battery developer. Automotive intelligence sources consistently point to Samsung SDY's solid-state program to produce a 150 kilowatt-hour solid-state pack for the 2027 Cullinan. If delivered as specified, the Cullinan Electric will be the first mainstream production vehicle using solid-state cells at significant scale. What most people don't realize is that Rolls-Royce's acoustic engineers treated the electric powertrain silence as an opportunity rather than a challenge. Without combustion masking noise, secondary sounds from wind, road surface, and mechanical systems become audible. The engineering response was to attack every one of those secondary sources individually, producing a cabin that achieves measurably lower total noise levels than any previous Cullinan at any speed. A quieter car than one that was already the quietest in the world. And this is where it gets crazy. Base pricing above $500,000 makes it the most expensive production SUV ever offered publicly. Rolls-Royce's order books opened to existing clients before public announcement and reportedly filled within 48 hours. The next vehicle on this list costs roughly 1/10 as much and will sell 100 times as many units. SUV number 6, Hyundai Ioniq 9. Hyundai's 3-row electric flagship is about to redefine what a family SUV can be. The Hyundai Ioniq 9 arrives in 2027 as the brand's most ambitious single product. A three-row electric SUV built on the eGMP platform that produced the award-winning Ioniq 5 and Ioniq 6, scaled to full-size SUV dimensions with a feature and capability package positioned against vehicles costing significantly more than its expected price point. The 800-volt electrical architecture, the same ultra-fast charging platform powering the Ioniq 5 and Kia EV6, enables 350-kilowatt peak charging. At that rate, the Ioniq 9's large capacity battery can add approximately 100 miles of range in under 10 minutes, a charging speed that practically eliminates range anxiety for family road trip use cases. Competitors still operating on 400-volt systems require nearly twice the time for equivalent energy addition, a practical disadvantage that compounds significantly across a multi-day family road trip. The interior architecture uses Hyundai's Universal Island console, a floating center console that slides longitudinally to serve both front and second-row passengers simultaneously, eliminating the fixed barrier conventional SUV interiors create between driver and passenger zones. Combined with a completely flat floor enabled by the skateboard platform, the Ioniq 9's interior functions as a configurable living space rather than a fixed seating arrangement. The third row is where the Ioniq 9 makes its most significant competitive statement. Its extended wheelbase prioritizes genuine adult usability in a way shorter wheelbase, three-row SUVs cannot physically achieve. What most people don't realize is that the Ioniq 9's vehicle-to-load capability, a 3.6 kilowatt external power output, allows it to power camping equipment, home appliances during outages, or worksite tools. For a family SUV doubling as a practical utility platform, this transforms the value proposition beyond transportation entirely. But it doesn't end here. The next vehicle brings a heritage nameplate into the electric era with technical execution that surprised the entire industry. SUV number 5, Ford Explorer EV, new generation. America's best-selling three-row SUV is going electric. And this time, Ford got everything right. Ford's electric vehicle journey has been publicly complicated. The Mustang Mach-E's strong reception contrasted with F-150 Lightning quality challenges, and first-generation Explorer EV launch issues documented extensively in owner feedback. The 2027 Explorer EV is Ford's second-generation electric platform effort, built on a completely re-engineered architecture that addresses every software and quality failure of the first generation with unusual corporate candor. The 2027 Explorer EV rides on Ford's Blue Oval Intelligence platform, a ground-up electrical and software architecture developed with first-generation failure lessons explicitly incorporated into design requirements. The software stack is built on an automotive-grade operating system developed in partnership with Google, using Android Automotive OS as its core, but customized at the application layer for Ford's specific requirements. This architecture enables monthly over-the-air updates rather than the quarterly at best cadence of first-generation Ford EVs, meaning discovered issues are addressed in weeks rather than quarters. Packaging 3 rows alongside a large battery pack requires architectural compromises 2-row vehicles avoid. Ford's solution is a true skateboard architecture with a flat floor throughout the passenger compartment, enabling genuine 6-passenger comfort across all 3 rows by eliminating the tunnel intrusion that compromised second-row center seating in every combustion Explorer. The towing capacity confirmation deserves specific attention. The dual-motor configuration delivers 5,000-pound towing while maintaining real-world range above 250 miles when towing, a combination technically elusive for electric SUVs where towing dramatically reduces range. This pairing represents one of the most practically significant capability advances in the 2027 three-row electric SUV class. What most people don't realize is that the Explorer EV's pricing strategy is designed to undercut the Ioniq 9 at equivalent specification levels. Ford has explicitly targeted mainstream family SUV buyers priced out of premium EV alternatives, making the Explorer EV the volume play in a segment the Ioniq 9 also targets. This completely changes the three-row electric SUV competitive landscape. Coming up is a performance SUV that just got a battery technology upgrade. Nobody expected this soon. SUV number 4, Porsche Macan EV second generation refresh. Porsche's electric SUV just became something entirely different, and the battery technology is the reason. The first-generation Porsche Macan EV launched in 2024 on the PPE platform shared with the Audi Q6 e-tron, a strong product establishing electric Macan as a credible performance compact SUV. The 2027 refresh is not a minor update cycle. It incorporates battery chemistry advances, software architecture improvements, and performance upgrades that Porsche engineers describe as creating a functionally different vehicle despite visual continuity with the first generation. The headline change is battery chemistry. The 2027 Macan EV transitions from current lithium-ion cells to a silicon anode lithium-ion formulation developed in partnership with Porsche's cell supplier since 2022. Silicon anode technology delivers meaningful improvements across 3 categories simultaneously: energy density enabling a smaller and lighter pack for equivalent range, charging speed with peak rates expected to exceed 350 kilowatts, and cycle life with projected battery longevity improvements of 30 to 40% over equivalent lithium-ion cells. The 350 kilowatt peak charging rate represents a genuine practical step change for a vehicle at this price. At that rate, a Macan EV with a 100 kilowatt-hour battery can accept approximately 175 miles of range in 10 minutes, making a charge stop during a road trip comparable in practical impact to a gasoline refueling stop rather than a scheduling disruption. The Macan Turbo variant is expected to produce in excess of 600 horsepower, the most powerful production Macan in the model's history and genuinely track-capable as a daily driven family SUV. Porsche's philosophy that electric vehicles should exceed their combustion equivalents dynamically rather than simply replacing them is fully realized in this specification. What most people don't realize is that the 2027 Macans, for a compact performance SUV buyer, this utility dimension adds household value that no previous Macan offered. And here's the twist. The next vehicle takes the world's most recognizable off-road icon and re-engineers it from the ground up for electric propulsion. SUV number 3, Mercedes-Benz EQG. The most iconic off-road vehicle in history is going electric, and the execution is extraordinary. The Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon has been in continuous production since 1979, a military vehicle that became a luxury cultural icon through mechanical integrity and decades of accumulated heritage. The 2027 EQG represents Mercedes-Benz's attempt to transition that legacy into the electric era without sacrificing the engineering substance that created it. The technical approach they have taken is unlike anything another manufacturer has attempted in any segment. The EQG's defining feature is 4 individual electric motors, 1 at each wheel, operating as a completely independent drive system. This wheel individual torque vectoring, which Mercedes calls the electric intelligence drive system, applies precisely calculated independent torque to each wheel in real time. The off-road implication is transformative. The EQG can simulate a locked differential at any axle without a physical locking mechanism. Apply negative torque to one wheel while applying positive torque to the opposite, and perform a tank turn, rotating on its own axis, that no conventional four-wheel drive system can replicate regardless of price. Mercedes has retained the G-Wagon's iconic exterior proportions and the three physical differential lock switches on the center console, now operating virtual electric differentials rather than mechanical ones. This is both a heritage statement and a practical acknowledgement that G-Wagon buyers have a deeply established operational relationship with this interface that electrification should not disrupt. The interior represents the most ambitious cabin in G-Class history, a curved display spanning the full dashboard width, 255 gradient ambient lighting adjustable by zone, and a Burmester sound system leveraging the electric powertrain silence to deliver audio performance, approaching dedicated listening environments. Physically updatable when next-generation cell chemistry becomes available, allowing owners to upgrade energy density without replacing the entire vehicle. If executed as described, this is the first manufacturer-supported battery upgrade path in any production luxury vehicle ever offered. Coming up is a manufacturer whose second attempt at an electric SUV fixes everything wrong with the first, using technology from an unexpected partner. SUV number 2, Honda Prologue, second generation. Honda's second electric SUV fixes everything the first got wrong, and the Sony partnership changes everything. The Honda Prologue's first generation was a study in managed ambition, a credible electric SUV built on a borrowed GM Ultium platform while Honda's own EV architecture was developed. It sold adequately, earned respectable reviews, and served as a market presence holder. The second generation, arriving for 2027 on Honda's proprietary EI architecture developed in collaboration with Sony, is an entirely different vehicle proposition. Honda's e-architecture has been described by the company's own engineers as the most significant platform investment in Honda's history. Built specifically for electric vehicles from the ground up, it incorporates structural battery integration, where the battery pack forms a structural element of the vehicle's floor rather than sitting as a separate module. This delivers improved torsional rigidity and a lower center of gravity than any current Honda product, while simultaneously enabling the interior volume gains that define the vehicle's passenger experience. The interior dimensions enabled by this architecture are what analysts are most excited about. Structural battery integration combined with elimination of the transmission tunnel and conventional drivetrain components allows a mid-size exterior footprint to offer interior space approaching full-size products. The Sony collaboration's most significant contribution is the sensor and software architecture. Sony's experience developing imaging and acoustic systems for professional electronics translates directly into a vehicle sensing suite, cameras, LiDAR, radar, that Honda engineers describe as the most capable driver monitoring and environmental awareness system in a production vehicle below $70,000. What most people don't realize is that the e-architecture's software platform is designed for a 10-year vehicle life cycle with continuous improvement, rather than the traditional automotive model of static software between model year refreshes. Honda is explicitly positioning the second-generation Prologue as a vehicle that improves meaningfully over its ownership period, rather than depreciating in capability as it ages. And now, the final vehicle, the most anticipated, the one that will outsell every other SUV on this list combined, And the reason why is more interesting than most people expect. SUV number 1, Toyota Land Cruiser Electric, FJ-E. Toyota's most legendary nameplate is going electric, and the wait was absolutely worth it. Toyota has been the most publicly cautious major manufacturer on full electrification, investing in hybrid technology while competitors raced to battery electric platforms. That caution ends decisively with the 2027 Land Cruiser Electric, internally designated FJE. This is Toyota's most significant single-vehicle commitment to battery electric technology in the company's history, and the approach taken reflects everything Toyota learned from watching competitors rush into electrification before their engineering was ready. The FJE is built on Toyota's next-generation EQG platform, substantially re-engineered for the structural demands of a genuine off-road vehicle. Where the original BZ4X drew criticism for modest off-road credentials, Toyota has prioritized capability in the FJE with the discipline of a manufacturer whose off-road reputation spans 7 decades. Confirmed ground clearance, approach and departure angles, and an available locking differential system all align with Land Cruiser heritage rather than the urban crossover market. The dual electric motor powertrain produces a combined output in the range of 400 horsepower, more than any combustion Land Cruiser ever offered, with torque delivery characteristics that Toyota's engineers describe as transformative for low-speed off-road traction. Electric motors deliver maximum torque from 0 revolutions per minute, enabling crawling over technical terrain with surgical precision rather than the approximation of a combustion engine and torque converter combination. This is not a theoretical advantage. For off-road capability specifically, instant full torque delivery at any speed is a fundamental mechanical improvement over any combustion alternative. Battery capacity figures from regulatory filings suggest a 150 kilowatt-hour pack, sufficient for estimated real-world range of 320 to 350 miles under normal driving conditions, with enough energy reserve to manage extended off-road use. Off-road driving's lower average speeds and gentler power demands actually favor electric range preservation relative to highway driving. Toyota's terrain management system on the FJE uses AI-assisted traction optimization that continuously monitors wheel slip, suspension travel, surface friction, and vehicle attitude at hundreds of measurements per second, adjusting torque to individual wheels with precision impossible in any mechanical system. Rather than discrete driver-selected modes, the system operates transparently and continuously, always applying optimal traction without requiring driver intervention or expertise. What most people don't realize is that the FJE is expected to price below the current Land Cruiser 300 series, making it the most accessible, serious off-road electric vehicle at its capability level anywhere in the market. This pricing strategy explains the outsell prediction. Toyota is bringing the world's most trusted off-road nameplate into the electric era at a price point that puts it within reach of the global buyers who have always made Land Cruiser one of the best-selling premium SUVs in automotive history. And this is where it gets crazy. Toyota's hybrid technology investment, widely criticized as conservative during the peak EV enthusiasm years of 2021 to 2023, turns out to have been a precision delay. The battery management expertise accumulated across 30 years of Prius, RAV4 hybrid, and Land Cruiser hybrid development is directly applicable to the FJE's battery system, giving Toyota a thermal management and battery longevity advantage over manufacturers who went straight to pure EV without that hybrid development foundation. The caution was the strategy all along. If any of these made you reconsider buying right now, Hit like and share it with anyone currently shopping for a new SUV. Subscribe because the next video covers 5 current SUVs that will drop most dramatically in value when these 2027 models arrive. Vehicles that are excellent today and will be heavily discounted the moment these competitors land in showrooms. That one is coming very soon, and it will save you serious money.